Hey, this is Rikki ROXX, and you are listening to ROXX100.com.
The Big Rock.
The Big Rock. Keeping the music alive.
Bon Jovi. Lenny Kravitz.
Hey, all you rockers. This is Johnny J, your host for The Big Rock. Catch me right here on ROXX 100 as we are keeping the music alive, rocking the 70s, 80s, and 90s. The Big Rock on ROXX 100.
Rock. The Big Rock. The Big Rock.
Everything that rocks.
Hey kids, would you like to be a rock god the likes of David Lee Roth in his heyday? Then you need to get the
Rikki ROXX Rock God Starter Kit.
Each kit comes complete with black nail polish, eyeliner, sparkly scarf, an actual chick magnet, a velvet jacket to make all the girls go wild, and an over-the-hat skull cap with bandana accessory. Act Now will also include a handy booklet showing you all the best places to wear your sunglasses at night. Regularly a $29.95 value, now yours free when you take advantage of this fabulous offer. But don't act just yet. We'll also throw in a wall poster chart diagramming all the best rock faces to enchant your audience, proven to wet the ladies' panties in mere seconds. For all you newbies, this great kit also includes a CD demonstrating how to push your voice for the radio, taught by Rikki ROXX himself. So quit being a big puss and man up rock style with the
Rikki ROXX Rock God Starter Kit.
Now yours for just $29.95 plus $99.95 shipping and handling. Call now. 1-800-ROCK-GOD. That's 1-800-ROCKGOD. Now. Operators and tattooed hookers are standing by to take your order.
Feel your best before making an arrest. What you gonna pick? Cop pockets when you don't want something salady. Avoid police brutality. What you gonna pick? Cop pockets.
Cop Pockets, filled with juicy jelly, mouth-watering maple and bacon, and creamy custard on a crispy donut.
When you want an easy meal while you're busting that your deal. What you gonna pick? Cop Pockets.
The cop meal in a pocket.
What you gonna pick? Cop Pockets.
Did you wake up this morning with a nasty rash and nothing but regret? Did you go home with a sweaty bass player last night? Did you wake up wanting to chew your own arm off because some skank's laying on it? Are you feeling a burning, itching sensation in your crotchal region? Do you feel like you need to scratch your ass with tree bark? Are you walking around like you were banged with a Scud missile? Did you meet someone at the bar you thought would actually call you back? Idiot! Then you need Skankosporin. It'll cool that burning sensation before you do the walk of shame to the cab. That's Skankosporin Itch Paste.
Available at In-N-Out Party Stores, Bottles and Stuff, 8 Mile Liquor, and Cunningham Drugs.
Free, but now, baby, you're leaving me. That time run out, you said.
following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
Rikki rocks, Rikki rocks. It's Rikki Rocks, coming out of the box. Bitches come in flocks, trying to steal his jocks. He needs to be contained with padded rocks. It's the Rikki Rock Show, spreading like the pox. Rikki rocks, Rikki rocks. Rikki rocks, Rikki rocks, yeah. Rikki rocks, Rikki rocks. Rikki rocks, Rikki rocks, yeah. Rikki rocks up in your grill, motherfucker.
Yeah. Echo. There's that. Now we're good.
Are we good?
We're good.
Oh,
everything's working. So far. I didn't get a chance to test a goddamn thing on the show today. So hopefully everything is working splendidly on your side. Here we are, episode number 116 of the Rikki Rock Show, right here on Rocks100.com and streaming exclusively video-wide, worldwide on YouTube.
BoobTube.
That's the next step. Let me turn that up. There we go.
Can you turn me up a tad in my headphones?
There.
Thank you, sir.
Blast it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Wake you up. Is that good?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. So if you're kind of curious as to why we are tardy, we had a battle of the bands today.
Like we're in high school all over again, and we lost.
We lost. It was horrible.
Yeah, whatever. You know, it was for a good cause, so I can't be upset.
I am. I'm fucking livid. Gotta get those guys back on drugs.
Oh,
maybe they would like Casting Shadowz a little bit more.
No, I liked that they were doing like the Narcan training and stuff, and that's what Chris has been like trying to push, you know, with the Kelly Memorial stuff. So
I figured for sure once Jeff did that little dialogue going into Falling Down, we would have won over all of those former junkies.
I know, right?
You know, they had people up there be like, "Oh, I was on heroin for 29 years." And I'm like, and then Jeff goes into Falling Down and be like, "This is about picking yourself back up and falling back down, and yesterday has nothing for him." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna win over these junkies."
Well, and then at the end he said, "Don't quit."
Don't be a quitter. I think he meant don't.
No, I know, but in context, it probably didn't sound that good.
The guy in the back's like, "Well, he said don't quit. I'm going out to the car." That's horrible. Horrible people. So it's like everything got pushed back, you know, because I was like, okay, I might be able to make it in time to quickly get on at 7:00. And then right when we got there, Jeff's like, "Oh, they're running a little bit behind. You know, they have raffles. They got to do the gift baskets and these 50-50. And I'm like, come on, you know who they got in here? They got fucking Rikki Roxx in here fucking waiting on deck.
Just played fucking Blue Ridge, bro.
I know. They should be like, dude, this band just played Blue Ridge. And now they're playing in front of our 60 people.
Now, what does that say for us that we played Blue Ridge and then we lost? Are we that shitty?
See, this is the thing. This is why I don't like Battle of the Bands when they start putting cover bands in or tribute bands, because right away, because the
You're
band,
playing something you didn't write.
Well, and they're playing stuff people know.
Well, yeah.
You know, so there's people out there be like, you know, because the band Motorhead, great guys. They ended up winning the whole damn thing. They played Ace of Spades and all this Motorhead stuff. You know, so it's like, oh, dude, all these people know Motorhead.
They're reminiscing back to when they were shooting heroin and shit on the fucking corner. Oh, I remember that song.
You know, and it's like, man, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot because we did no covers or anything like this. So it's like, ugh. And we were a guitar player short.
And we played in a gazebo.
And we played in a fucking gazebo.
I mean, it was actually nice.
This is Spinal Tap at its like peak. If you've never seen the movie, but
you gave me like you and Steve Engel basically gave me the whole rundown of that movie.
Yeah, it's like, okay, 1 minute you're on top of the world, you're playing in front of thousands of people. Next week you're losing a battle of bands to a cover band.
So we did all of that without the fame, the money, the drugs. We just literally did that in the span of a week.
Yeah.
Man,
so
good.
Our career is completely over. All right, so let's
we're full on YouTubers now.
Let's get into it. Blue Ridge Rock Festival. Last weekend, we played Sunday, 1 o'clock, bright and early, Casting Shadowz, 100 degrees, Rikki Roxx wearing leather. We'll get into all this and more. Kevin Raslog, what was your experience at Blue Ridge Rock Festival?
I'm kind of bummed I didn't come earlier, But
that's what she said.
Given some of the stuff that people were saying about, lack of parking and like all that other shit, I'm kind of glad that I didn't. But the sound quality of all the bands was fucking phenomenal. I had a goddamn blast.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking crowd surfing during Lamb of God was epic.
We're gonna see that in a little bit.
No, all the bands I wanted to see, minus Motionless in White, that I got to see, it was great. The sound quality was phenomenal. The dust kind of sucked, but
it was horrible.
Overall, considering the fact we didn't have to pay to get in and shit,
it
was worth it, man. I had a blast.
Wow, look at you. And then a week after, you're like, oh, man, Casting Shadowz is on the way up. Blue Ridge.
Well,
Next
hold
time
on,
it's
let's
incarceration.
backtrack. I just did, some George and Ede shows that were off the hook, too. So I was riding that high.
Dude,
and then
how
Casting Shadowz just brought me right back down.
How long has it been since you've played inside? This is like your 4th show that's been outside in a row. You haven't played inside in a while.
So we did Lapeer Days, Arts, Beats, and Eats, Blue Ridge, this one. So 4 in a row.
4 out. Look at this guy. He's just a festival player now. Fuck your clubs. Wow.
No, but Blue Ridge was great, man. I feel bad for the people that were camping.
Yeah.
Because they were the ones that seemed to have the biggest problem. But, I mean, shit. While we're on this subject. So
you gonna give me some money?
No. We found a place where we parked. And
here it is.
These people took incredibly fucking good care of us.
We're going to see some video of that in a little bit, too.
Yeah, so Jalissa and Dion are the owners. So they basically, their house and property was like a half-hour walk from like...
Well, it butted up right against the parking for Blue Ridge.
So when we pulled in, so this was a day, Thursday, Friday, so Saturday. So we pulled in, they're like, oh yeah, it's only $20 to park as opposed to $40.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we got food too. So if you guys are hungry, let us know. And we're like, well, what kind of food? They're like, well, what do you want?
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, we got fucking ribs, pulled pork, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like going on and on and on. So we're like, okay, we'll stop by after. So, we got absolutely fucking tore up, had a fucking blast. Rob got to drive my car.
Yeah. Second gear, bro.
Yeah. So when we got back to the car, they were like, we were all fucking starving.
Yeah.
So they had like these hot dog plates, just tons.
And the lines inside for food were easily hour and a half wait.
Yeah, so the first 2 days it sucked. After that, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the bathrooms were the only thing that didn't really have a line.
Yeah.
Which was nice. So, we get back, they gave us all these fucking hot dogs. It was cheap. It was really, really fucking good. And then we were like, oh yeah, we're playing tomorrow. And they'd like lost their shit. They were like, oh my God, you guys are fucking rock stars and shit. So I want to plug them. It's Noah's Kitchen, NOAHHS.
Let me see it. Let me see the card.
Oh yeah.
We have cameras.
Yeah, that's true. So anyways, we told, or they were like, oh, if you guys want breakfast, we were like biscuits and gravy, like asking all this shit.
Yeah.
But we didn't really know the day of like how shit was going to go down. So we were like, you know what, just, we'll stop by.
Yeah.
So Sunday was brutal. Like after we got done playing, it was really, really fucking hot. There's no coverage at all.
Let's go before Sunday, because I need to throw this out there. Okay. So if you've ever seen me perform, I wear trash bags, long sleeves, leather pants.
You're ready for winter.
Layers, layers, and layers, and layers. So I get all prettied up, and
90 degrees, by the way.
We get to your car. I'm like, oh well, we're playing. In my head, I'm like, we're playing at 1. This is before it gets 4, 5, 6 o'clock, where it's I knew it was gonna be hot, but I'm like, okay, we played in Kentucky. And it was like 100 degrees there, and I had all the crap on, and I did fine. We played like an hour, and it was hot as shit. So I'm like, okay, well, we're outside, and we only have to play for 20 minutes.
The sun's directly above us.
I was like, we only got to play for 20 minutes. This will be easy breezy. So pull in Kev's car, backstage. Get outside for 1 second. I'm like, nope, this ain't fucking happening. I tear my shirts off. I go full on redneck, and I'm like, damn it, I should have brought a pair of shorts.
I'm so glad I didn't wear pants.
Yeah.
I was like this close to it.
The whole day I'm walking around with like heavy ass leather pants on. Oh, thank God for Tim Brunel and his
huge shout out to Tim. Because when Danny and I were walking over the bridge to get back there, I was like, Danny, I need to hit your water. He's like, are you all right, man? I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. So then I saw because there was no service. So I'm like going through the chat, and I finally found the picture of the RV.
Yeah.
And all I saw was across from check-in tent.
Yeah.
And like literally we're at the check-in tent and I look to the left and there it is.
Yeah.
We hop inside, fucking AC's blasting. I took a bottle of waters, threw it on my head. I was like, oh my God. I was like a zombie for like 25 minutes because my body was just so goddamn hot. Probably dehydrated. All the fucking beer and shit that I drank the day before didn't help.
But we were slamming waters, you know, because you know, on the side of the stage, you know, they had like a big ass cooler.
Oh yeah.
Even before we played, I think I probably went through like 6 bottles of water to the point where it was hurting that I had drank so much water. I was just downing fucking waters, and it did not help one bit.
At that point, you know what I should have just dumped it all over myself, because then my cold, wet clothes would have like kept me cool.
Until you start playing, and then it all heats up, and you're just in a hot towel.
Well, I meant after I played. But huge shout out to Tim, and not only for the RV, but for hooking us up on the sound too.
Story about that. This is something I learned, and Tim pointed this out. He's like, you know, these side stages and shit, like not the main stages, they purposely dial you down a little bit.
Well, they do that at the machine shop for all the openers and shit too. I mean, so it's like, standard practice.
Yeah. So he's like, what I did, because, you know, he was down there and he's like, if you guys want me to run sound, boom, boom. And I'm like, oh, cool. Somebody actually knows the band. So he knows how to properly EQ and compress the vocal range of Jeff Land.
There's one thing any band that you can do to like enhance your show playing ability is to get in good with the sound guy. And Josh used to do that a lot in Shudder. He used to like go find the sound guy and slip him like $30-$40, be like, just dial us up a little bit.
Yeah.
Most of the time they're like, fuck it, and just crank the shit up.
Yeah. So I don't know where the hell I was gonna go from there.
Well, the sound with Tim.
Oh yeah. So Tim's just like, he's like, yeah, I know that you guys were like down 5 decibels and there was all this headroom change. And
I thought he said it was -15 or something.
I think he said it was -5, but he bumped us up
15.
to 15.
Oh, okay.
So, so he bumped us up, and when we played, you know, I was like looking out over the vast sea of people, you know, and like 100 yards away, I could see people were like stopping, like, oh, that band's kind of loud.
Well, and the crazy thing was the day before, you know, we were making our way in between all the stages, and every time we walked by a side stage, I purposely looked over to see, oh, like, is there crowd engagement? How loud is it?
Yeah.
And more often than not, when you were like 3/4 the way up that like kind of hill, the first hill before the giant fucking one, you could kind of hear them, but like the fucking major big bands on the stages were like kind of drowning them out. So when we were playing, you know, it was really crazy. Obviously, I'm elevated, so I could see out like way farther. Well, not way farther, but a little bit farther than you guys.
Yeah.
And legit, like all the people by the Golden Circle, right before we started, they were facing that big main stage.
Yeah.
Like 30 seconds, 40 seconds into our first song, they were all leaning against the grate, like looking at our stage. So.
And for people out there, the Golden Circle is not some pervy little.
R. Kelly was there signing autographs.
You know, it was their failed attempt at charging more to get
like
up
a
close.
VIP.
Yeah, and to get up close to the big stages and all that. I saw videos, people just hopping that thing. So
you know what? At the end of the day, I know people are pissed that they spent the money. But it's kind of cool that security didn't really give a fuck about a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And what's even more crazy is there was no...
They didn't give a shit about
There was
anything.
no fights.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any, like, overdoses.
There was one.
Okay, so there was
one person ended up dying, I think.
Oh, shit. Well,
yeah. And one person had a kid, so it's kind of like a trade-off.
But, you know what's crazy? They have that country music thing going on there right now.
Yeah.
There was already a shooting at it.
Really?
So it was really crazy that people were bitching. They were like, oh, lack of this, lack of that. But it made it so you could kind of just come and go as you pleased.
Yeah.
And, like, dude, everyone had I didn't see any people, aside from those people fighting when we were getting food, that had a bad time.
Oh, yeah. They were all methed out and shit.
Disturbance.
Yeah. They were just, everybody was just watching. We're like, we'll get to the food in a second.
Yeah.
We got to watch fucking springers going on here. Yeah. Those guys were methed the fuck out. I wonder whatever happened to them.
Well, we can ask, what's her face? I gave you the card, right?
I gave it back.
Oh, you gave it back?
Yeah. So, yeah, super cool. And then we came back, you know, riding high, and we played a Battle of the Bands in a gazebo in the Greater Road.
It was a nice gazebo. I mean, it was big, shit.
Well, it was a really nice gazebo.
Yeah, I mean, don't downplay it.
Yeah, well.
I've played worse venues.
Well.
I'm just saying.
Just saying, I'm never doing a Battle of Bands again. Like, Ronnie was there. I'm like, dude, I feel so weird playing a fucking Battle of Bands. It's like I'm 16 years old again. And he's like,
It brought me back to 16 losing.
Fucking lost. And Jeff's like, dude, we're a definite shoo-in. The girl who asked us to do it said that we're a shoo-in to at least get something. And so I'm kind of like, loading my crap in because I got to get back here. And I'm like listening. I'm like, I don't hear anybody saying Casting Shadowz. And I see Jeff standing behind the stage. I'm like, we fucking lost 6 fucking bands. We didn't get shit.
I honestly think it might have been due to the fact that we weren't there the whole time.
Well, and the fact that we were headlining. I think by that point, the judges, whoever they were,
had their minds made up. We were just batting cleanup. Hey, whatever. It was a good practice.
Without a lead guitar player.
Yeah, and then
we took the touring lineup out.
Then Danny got food poisoning, so hopefully he's feeling better.
He pulled a Chad. Day of the show.
Don't even mention him in the same breath.
Day of the show. Day of the show.
Come on.
Oh, come on.
Hey, at least he had an excuse, though.
Well,
Chad was like, I don't think I can make it. Why? ...
Well,
big difference.
So since we're on Blue Ridge, if anybody out there, I need to answer this question. I forgot. Rob Seth, he wanted to know how you could submit songs to Rocks 100. Send an email, rocks100 at rocks100radio@gmail.com. Send MP3s, links to your music videos, bios, Facebook.
Or if that's too difficult, just message the page.
Or just message me on Facebook.
We'll send you that.
Well, yeah, that works too, I guess.
Just saying.
I'll take it. Any way you can get a hold of me, it works. So
you can hop on Grindr, look up Rikki ROXX.
Jesus. Rob Surgot, he said he saw the Friday overdose. So
no shit.
Yeah, so that was a thing. Steve Dave's actually in there.
They said there was 160,000 people over the 4 days.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
more. I thought there was a lot.
Oh, dude, there had to have been. But given that many fucking people, I'm amazed that it went as well as it did. And the second time I went crowd surfing to Lamb of God, I got dropped 4 times.
All those people and all the drugs, I'm surprised there's only one overdose.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It was out there. Just out. Like plain as day, walking through the trees at night, you'd see somebody behind
when we were
tree
leaving, that dude ran out of the cornfield like fucking children of the corn. It was crazy. But I had heard that people were comparing this to Woodstock level.
Yeah,
dude, I gotta say, man, I didn't go to Woodstock, so I can't compare it. But It was fucking huge.
Yeah,
cars everywhere, people everywhere. We were waiting in line to get food, just started bullshitting. It was just a really good fucking time.
Yeah, I think Rob and I, we had to wait an hour and a half for food. I think we had to walk hour and a half, 2 hours to get to the car. The first, however many days.
I think, part of it wasn't their fault. They had people that were hired to drive the buses and shit, and they just, all quit.
On day one.
Yeah. So, the guy that threw it, he apparently threw this 2 years in a row before, and it was a one-day thing.
I think so.
And then, boom, he's 4 days, huge fucking band. So, for someone to go from basically going from promoting a local show to I'm going to throw a fucking festival, that's the gap of intricacies that happened.
Well, it's
I gotta say, he fucking did a great job.
I was telling you earlier that it's I think it was 2019 when they did Blue Ridge Rock Festival. It was either 19 or the year before. Their big headliner was Scott Stapp from Creed.
Probably not too difficult to accommodate.
So it's not and then he goes from Scott Stapp of Creed. The next time he does it, Five Finger Death Punch, Rob Zombie, Offspring, 180 bands.
Dude, there's way, in my opinion, better bands than those you listed that were on the bill too. There was a shitload of great bands.
Yeah, Casting Shadowz was there, played that, and can't even win a prize at a fucking battle of bands in a fucking gazebo. So since we're talking about Casting Shadowz, and then we'll get moving into the show, this has been hidden from you, Kevin. The whole band has hidden this from you.
Uh-oh.
I've
been replaced?
A world debut music video.
Wait, what?
From Casting Shadowz.
You guys finished the video?
No. I think we're going to watch it.
Okay.
All right. World debut music video. Done by Rob Surgot.
Am I actually in it?
You are in it.
You didn't Photoshop me on
you are in it, and you will have a starring role.
What?
Yeah.
How do I have a starring role?
It's a thing.
I've never had a starring role in any video.
Sophia Marie, she's here. So yeah, if you're fans of Casting Shadowz, share this because world debut. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up. World debut of the Casting Shadowz
about
video.
To get rickrolled?
No, the Casting Shadowz video for If I Die Tomorrow.
Really?
You ready?
Yeah.
Look at Kevin's like, what the fuck? All right, so here it is. Rob put this together. Casting Shadowz, If I Die Tomorrow, world debut music video. Here it is.
Chained, I need to break these rusty chains. I'm about to throw it all away. Now have I lost my mind? I'm blamed for things I have not done. Now tell me, where did I go wrong? Where did I lose my way? You're tearing at my heart, and I'm drowning out the pain. You better watch your back, my friend. I'm off the track again. Yeah. Now I ain't the one to criticize, just gotta tell me how to live. Some sound advice for you, my friend, and don't fuck with me again. Now don't confuse the things I'm saying with the things I may have done. Ain't nobody getting out of here this time, we've come undone. You keep tearing at my heart, and I'm drowning out the pain. Torture what's left, that good inside with everything. Yeah, you keep saying you'll be there for me when I'm falling down. Now where you now? Once again, you never show. Right now it's going down. I want this world stop chasing me. I'm running away. So it's the same. If I die tomorrow, tell me what was you saying? Won't this world just stop beating me? Stop beating me down now. Why won't this world just let me go? I'm feeling caged, enraged. I just don't feel the same. Ain't got no time to waste on you and all your childish games. And I need to set the record straight so you don't shove it in my face when you don't get your way. You're tearing at my heart, and I'm drowning out the pain. Torture what's left and good inside with everything. Yeah, you keep saying you'll be there for me when I'm falling down. Know you now. Once again, you never show. Right now it's going down. I want this world stop chasing me. I'm running away. So it's the same. If I die tomorrow, tell me what would you say? Won't this world just stop beating me? Stop beating me down now. Well, I want this world just let me go. To my self-destruction, when no one knows me, no one cares who I am. In all my life, I've been living with delusions about the way I thought this might have been. And time goes by as the end draws nearer. Man, looking back, I should have changed my ways, but I stay strong, reading my own convictions. Right now I'm only looking out for me. Just stop chasing me, I'm running away. So it's the same. If I die tomorrow, tell me what would you say? Won't this world just stop beating me? Stop beating me down now. Well, I want this world just let me go.
There it is.
Oh shit, Rob. Fucking killer, dude.
What'd you think, dude?
Dude, that's actually really well done. I mean, I like all the stuff that Rob did before that we've been, doing. I didn't think he was going to be able to piece together like a whole video just from that. No, that's fucking killer, dude.
Yeah,
and it got me crowd surfing at the end for Lamb of God,
dude.
so no complaints.
Fucking crazy. Wow, the look on your... I told Rob, I'm like, dude, don't tell Raz. We're going to debut it on the show. And he's like, all right, I just got to clear it by Jeff. I think Danny knows about it. I'm not sure if Danny knew about it or not, but...
God damn it, Danny.
Yeah.
Well, look, this is even bigger for him. His first out-of-state show ever. Fucking probably first music video ever. Not a bad deal. No, great job, Rob.
Wow, you thought it was going to be the Trust video or something, didn't you?
No, honestly, I had no clue.
Yeah.
You just said video. I was like, he's gonna rickroll me or some bullshit.
Never gonna give you up.
Gonna get me all excited and shit, and then be like, psych.
So yeah, that was Rob came out to Blue Ridge with us, did some video, and
he basically captured not like the whole thing, but like enough to like it's almost like a keepsake to be like, oh man, we played that. Like that's super cool. So thank you.
So he came out, spent a couple days with us. I was pretty much hanging out with him the whole time because Jeff's out being wild and crazy, doing wild and crazy shit, and I'm like, I'm too old.
No,
for
it was
this shit.
basically a trio of us. Once we got there.
Yeah, once you guys got there, then it was like Rob, me, Raz, and Danny, and Jeff's out.
With the other two.
Okay, so I'm going to put this out there, too. On my way out there, I got to turn my headphones on. Man, why am I so deaf? Jesus Christ.
Probably because you don't wear earplugs ever.
I know. Or I just like hearing my voice. But on the way out there, it's like I was riding with the three amigos, and...
That's a polite way of putting it.
It was Cheech and Chong. That's pretty much what it is. And if you don't know, I am not a huge fan of not a huge fan of that. So it's like I'm like a fucking dog the whole way there with the window cracked and sticking my nose.
That's why you went
there.
AWOL during Cypress Hill.
Yeah, and so on the way back, I'm just like, Raz, dude, make some room. I'm going back with you guys.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised given the fact that I drove a very small car, and I was like, if you want to sit in the back for 10 hours, bro.
Dude, claustrophobia it was weird because I couldn't like stretch my legs and all that. And Kevin, you're one of those marathon drivers. You'll drive for 8 hours straight if you don't have to pee. And I was like, with Jeff, I'm always good. He's going to stop every 2 hours to take a pee break Well,
I explained to you my reasoning. Every 10 minutes you stop is like a half hour added onto it.
Yeah.
So like even the ride down, Danny and I was like, all right, you go in and pee, pay for gas. I'll start pumping. It was like fucking Gumball, like 500 shit.
Yeah.
Like I was like, all right, we got to be efficient as shit.
Yeah. And it's like we stopped once and then, on the way back, I'm like, fuck, I gotta pee, but I know Raz is on a fucking mission here to get fucking through second gear and just kick it home. And then Dave's like, dude, we gotta stop. I gotta pee. I'm like, thank God, because my knees are cramping up. I have nowhere, I had about as much space as my body.
No, I know.
Well,
the funny thing is when we drove down, Danny like put the seat all the way back. He's like, God damn, dude. He's like, there's a lot of fucking leg room here. And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, if there's no one behind you. And then Ricky's like, I'm getting in the back. And then, like, we had my car fucking packed to the goddamn brim.
Yeah.
Like, you were basically, like, there's the middle seat and then the other seat behind me, and it was just, like, luggage and shit. And I kept seeing you, like, moving your head to try and get comfortable. It was so fucking funny.
It was horrible. And,
you were a trooper, though.
And I wasn't going to be like, come on, Danny, you're the new guy. You sit in the back. Ricky's got to pull the seniority card. But, yeah, definitely a good time. Definitely a good time.
I'm glad I could help facilitate 10 hours of not torture for you. It was just claustrophobic.
It was just, I would have taken that. The only, you guys had your little vape thing, but I'm like, I'll take that over
Cheech and Chong.
Passing around one.
The fucking truck.
Oh, God, horrible. Horrible. Oh, I can't do it.
Poor Rikki.
I can't fucking do it.
Rockstar.
No, not anymore. So what do you want to do now? We kind of went a little off kilter here.
We should probably do beer of the week, considering it's 10 to 8, and I think
we gotta do the pump it or dump band of the week too.
All right, so let's do this. Let's do pump it or dump it. We'll come back and do beer of the week, and then we should be almost ready to have the band call in.
Josie Pace. We're gonna have her call in. I gotta get this fucking music video up here since.
So why don't we do 2 songs? Do the video and then do 1 song.
Okay.
We'll do beer of the week.
God, I had no songs pull up. We'll play this one. Fuck it, it's right here. All right, so we're gonna play Reverend Jack and their song "Greed." We're gonna come back. We're
gonna do Pump It or Dump It and Reverend Jack.
Okay.
Come on, Rikki.
Jesus Christ. Ugh.
I remember my first time.
This is fucking horrible. I'm doing horrible radio here.
Well, this is what happens when you play Rockstar for like weeks in a row.
Playing Battle of Bands in the Gazebo.
Yep.
Okay. So this band, our Pump It or Dump Band of the Week, this is where we kind of expose you to brand new music, independent bands from around the world. This week we have a band called Zeros, spelled Xeros, out of Springfield, Missouri. If you're into Chevelle, saw Chevelle twice, horrible band, but Chevelle, Nirvana, Motorhead, cover bands win Battle of the Bands, I guess. So cover Motorhead.
All you up and coming artists, just
cover
covers.
Motorhead.
Just do covers.
Or if you're a fan of melodic hard rock, they have a EP out called This Twisted Design EP. Facebook, check them out. Facebook.com/Zeros Band, Xeros Band. We're going to play their song Clones, and we'll come back and do Beer of the Week. Last week we had Dark Summer, who we played with at Blue Ridge from Orlando. Their song Bender only got 2 votes for Pumpin' and actually 1 Dump It vote. Ooh. We never get a Dump It vote.
Ooh.
And there was somebody who's like, no, fuck this shit.
Damn.
So
hopefully they didn't see him at Blue Ridge.
Jesus. So Dark Summer sucks. All right, so we're going to play Zeros, their song Clones, come back, Beer of the Week. And
we're doing 2 songs.
You want to do 2?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do 2.
Do the video, or that's the video, right?
Yes.
And then 1 other song. And then we'll come back and do Beer of the Week.
Okay, we'll do it. All right, here we go. Episode number 116 of the Rikki ROXX Show, Rocks100.com.
motivation emanates from this thing called greed.
Do you see the change? I do. I just wanna tell somebody the thing that lost my mind. Trapped inside this life of man, a piece of never find. Little love is what we need. But this greed is our disease. Give it all for what you borrow. Something so.
Everyone wants their chance at the $10,000 prize.
There's people dying in the street that never made the news. Fighting through tragedy, never more than just a bruise. But deep inside this hurt you crave, the fuel that drives your best. Let me sing you for the night, time takes all the rest. Little love is what we need. But this greed is our disease. Give it all for what you borrow. From your soul, there's no tomorrow. This greed is a word we made. Sold your soul one last mistake. Love is lost in a world of sorrow. Lost it all, there's no tomorrow.
And we are back. There. Oh, no. That one. All right. There we go. We cut that one off because we're running a little short on time. So we had our Pump It or Dump Band of the Week. Zeros out of Springfield, Missouri, and their song Clones. We played the video for that. So hop on over Facebook.com/Rocks100. Give it a big thumbs up if you like it, or give it the face if you don't like it so much. And since you're here on YouTube, make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit your notifications bell, so anytime the show comes on once a week, we won't bother you too much. You can check out the Rikki ROXX Show. We gotta get these numbers up, kids. We gotta get these numbers up.
Plus, I mean, what's the best thing to potentially wake up to is that notification.
There it is.
You know, you could be working the night shift, and then boom, you know, 6:30 rolls around. Bing.
Yeah, you go to work on Monday, say you're sleeping Sunday, you're like, oh man, I'm gonna miss it. And you wake up, man, I gotta go to work. Oh, damn, Rikki did a show. Now my work day doesn't suck so much. 2 hours of my day right there. And then we played.
And just replicate that, 4 times. Your day's done, you got paid.
And then we played Reverend Jack and their song Greed out of Madisonville, Kentucky. Phenomenal band. We got to get those guys back on the show.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, now we're going to get into our really quick beer of the week. During that break, I did take some notes, so I didn't seem so unprepared. This is from One Well Brewing out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. And another name that starts with an X. Exalpa?
Wow. Couldn't have planned that any better.
Exalpa? Whatever it is. XALAPA. I'm going to show it in the screen here. This is where we indulge ourselves. Oh.
Dude, the jalapeno is no joke.
Okay,
let's get into it. You can actually taste it.
Let's get into it. This is a 5.2% ABV, 0 IBUs. This is an herb and spice beer, but on here it said jalapeno beer or something like that.
Well, at the bottom, it's a jalapeno blonde.
Okay, so in the words of Andrew May, my former co-host, let's read from the bottle, kids. Don't let this style fool you. This blonde ale keeps it cool and refreshing by using a special no-spice jalapeno. Whatever it is, XALAPA provides the nose and flavor of your favorite pepper, but without the heat. This beer was born by taking chances and lives on with a passionate and fanatic following. The whatever it's called, XALAPA Cult Club, not a member. Join today. OneWellBrewing.com. Kevin Razlog, what do you think?
Dude, I fucking love this.
Oh, no.
It's really good. No, it's... Oh man, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. Like if you go out to like a Mexican or Spanish restaurant and you're eating some really spicy food and you get that burn and then you're just trying to like dissipate it with beer, that's basically what you're drinking. And personally, I fucking love it. Ricky doesn't look like he's a fan.
No. BeerAdvocate.com gave this an 8.8 out of 10. Kevin Razlog, what are you thinking on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh man. What was my highest?
Probably like a 9.5, 9.7.
I'll go a 9. Personally, I think this is phenomenal. I really like it. It's like I'm out tacos, having fun, kicking it with the boys, trying to get that jalapeno flavor to kind of dissipate a little bit. But it's not overpowering. I like it. Oh, wow. Really?
This is disgusting, dude. This is fucking gross. I'm giving it a 2. Woo! This is my lowest score ever. This is disgusting. And for all the reasons you said, it tastes like fucking jalapeno without the heat. I don't want that in my fucking beer.
I love jalapenos.
You know, I don't want vegetables in my beer.
Okay, Kevin Malone.
You know, it's like saying, okay, well, here's I don't know. Give me here.
Sophia said it doesn't mix well with hot dogs, apparently.
Okay. This is like, here's a celery beer. No, I don't want that. I don't want that shit. Oh, here's a lettuce. No, fuck you. Take that lettuce shit home. Take all that green shit out of here. This is horrible.
I like that it embodies that similar burn like in your throat. Not like a lot, but it's just like you were eating jalapenos.
Yeah, you're taking these home with you. Kevin bought these for $11.99.
I mean, you kind of put me on the spot.
I know, and this is what the fuck happens. Thank you. I'm blaming Jeff for booking this show so I couldn't get beer of the week, and now I got to be subjected to this swill.
Swill?
Horrible. This is probably one of the bottom 3 worst beers I've ever had in my life.
I'm glad I could be in the bottom 3.
It's the only thing keeping it from being a 1 or a 0 is the fact that there's alcohol in it.
I would like to get Steve Dave in here to chime in on this.
This is horrible. I don't. This is the biggest discrepancy we've ever had as far as scores. You're going all high, maybe top 5 beers that you've ever had. I'm like, this is by far one of the worst.
If I made some homemade tacos, this would be the perfect beer for it.
This would be the perfect beer if I decided I hated my life and I wanted to subject myself to pain and grossness.
Because I know what I'm doing for Blue Ridge next year. This is all that's going to be available. I'll pay extra.
I'm not going. Find another fucking.
Even if we're headlining? The main stage?
I will quit the band. If I go backstage, Casting Shadowz, you guys are playing at 10 o'clock on the big Monster.
Our rider's going to be like cases of this beer.
I'd be like, dog, you all got to find somebody else because if this is all I have to drink, no.
And we're going to get jalapeno infused water too.
God, that's fucking. Well, that's, I like cucumber infused water. Yeah. It's pretty good.
You like cucumber infused water.
Yeah.
That is the least rock star thing I've ever heard come out of your mouth.
Well, I went to a spa once.
Aside from all the things that go in your mouth.
Okay. So, I did I went to like one of those spas at the casino.
Oh, I was waiting for you to rub and tug in Koreatown. Told my wife to just wait.
And then they had like cucumber infused water and all this. I'm like, okay, well, I'll give it a try. It seems bougie enough. And
you drank it because it has cum in it. Cucumber.
Okay. Cucumber? What? Okay, this is stupid. This is to me. This is horrible. I would not buy one of these. If I had $1 million in my pocket and I can just buy all the beer I wanted, this would not be it. I'm not going. I don't think I'm going to finish this. I probably will, but fucking horrible, fucking disgusting. This is.
I mean, like, dude, gross. I actually really like the can. Like, it's got like the little skull. It's like sugar skull looking kind of shit. I dig it. It's based out of Kalamazoo, too.
This is why I don't like it. Guys riding a fucking Vespa like a freaking loser. Those are the kind of guys that drink jalapeno beer. Okay.
Well, it should have been a 4-wheeler with like Budweiser, like eat motherfucker. Is that what you wanted?
Well, I mean, it makes sense. It works for the beer. It's a douchey looking dude riding a Vespa. So
little does Rikki know it's his skeleton riding the Vespa.
This is fucking it's gross. Don't get it. Don't get it. It's horrible. Unless you like Kevin's taste in beer and he likes smoothie beers. So take that for what you will. All right. So we're going to get into a music video now from Josie Pace. And she's going to be calling in. It's not going to be the Zoom thing. We're going old school.
Oh, yeah.
Old school
Throwback.
phone call. So we're going to play a music video right now, her song No, and we're going to play this, and then I believe she's going to call in, and then we'll talk to her for a little bit. Kevin's got to be out of here at 9 o'clock sharp.
On the dot.
Why do you have to be out at 9 o'clock sharp?
New job.
Yeah.
Start Monday.
And you
tomorrow.
you actually have to go in.
Yeah, 8-minute commute. It's going to be rough.
Yeah, my ass ain't got a job, so I have zero commute. On my way back, it was like my gas gauge said low fuel level. I'm like, I ain't got money, so you're going to have to wait till next week for me to put any gas in this. All right, so Josie Pace, her song No, and then we're going to talk to her.
She's in the chat.
She's in the chat.
She'll call in right after.
Boom, there
Look
it
at
is.
that, on top of things.
Paying attention.
Love it, Josie.
All right, we'll be right back after this, episode number 116 of the world-famous Rikki ROXX Show right here on Rocks100.com.
1, 2, 3, 4.
that ended quick.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that had it was a good song though, man. I'm not normally like into like the super electronic stuff like that, but catchy, hooky.
Okay, I think
I dig
you
it.
tried calling. I gotta turn this back on.
It was very abrupt though.
Yeah. Okay. So waiting, I saw like missed call popping up a couple times. I believe that was probably Josie. So we're gonna get here. It's been a while since we used Skype. So we'll see how it goes.
You paid your subscription, right?
I did. I actually did test this out, and it said a couple missed calls. So waiting for Josie Pace to. Oh, there it is.
Look at that.
All right. Josie.
Hello. Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing splendid. Played a battle of bands today. I felt like I was 16 years old again. Hopefully your weekend's going a lot better than mine.
And we lost. So
and we lost.
Icing on the cake.
Yeah, and we lost. So, what's been going on, with you guys? Because, this is a question, right off the bat. This is a question that I ask any singer who has a band named after them. How do you get people to perform with you when it's named after you? I want to know how the conversation goes. Like, hey, we're not going to have a band name. It's going to be named after me.
You remember the Seal? Like, we're going to be like that.
How do you get people to sign up to, be in a group named after the singer?
It's actually funny because I was all for having like a regular band name, and then my bandmates were like, no, we're not the thing, you're the thing, so it's going to be your name.
It's funny you say that because one of the other projects I'm in, Georgia Need, is the vocalist, and it was just one of those things where we were like, everyone knows you and your name, let's just call it Georgia Need. And
right.
I know where Ricky's coming from, but for me, I was like, dude, we don't have to worry about rebranding. We don't have to do this, and this. Like, you already have the name and the image. Like, for me, that's way more fucking easier. So it was no problem for me.
It's way easier.
Okay.
I was born with it.
So, this is a different brand of music than we normally play. So let's get this right off the top. When you started writing these songs and all this, was it your intention to kind of go that, to me it sounds kind of like industrial-ish kind of way. Was it your plan to go that way, or did, the people, the guys you're working with kind of swing it that way?
I wasn't really planning anything at all. I just wanted to break into the industry as a rock musician, and I had been playing for so long as like an acoustic folk. You play in bars and you play in folk rock or whatever in bars. And I was so tired of doing that for years and years and years that Ken, who's on the call with me,
Hi.
Hey, Ken.
He suggested
How you doing?
that we just go with no guitars. I mean, I still write everything on the guitar, but we transpose everything into synth rock or industrial rock.
No shit.
So, how was it for you going from that, kind of folky kind of thing, just you and your guitar going into this massive sound? The first time you did it, was it kind of like, wow, this is a way different beast than I'm used to?
I've always wanted to get into the rock scene, but I wasn't that much into industrial or electronic rock. I wasn't. I didn't know it as well as I thought I did, but it was definitely different. The first time we played a show together, I didn't have that like comfort blanket of having my guitar on me or whatever. So it was different getting into the performer type standpoint on stage, and I think it's grown on me. Obviously, it has grown on me. I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't like it, but it's definitely a very big beast to tackle on stage, but it's fun.
I mean, shit. As a drummer, normally I don't really get too big into like the electronic stuff. Like, I love Radiohead. Like, there's a lot of bands I listen to that incorporate it, but like that entire song, like, I was just bobbing my head. Very catchy. You have a phenomenal voice.
Thank you.
Definitely swayed my opinion. Like, normally that's not the stuff I would listen to, but it was really, really good. I gotta imagine though, going from what you were, doing before performing live, that's got to be quite a bit of a learning curve, like not having that blanket. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. During rehearsals, Ken would always be like, "You got to move around more in rehearsals," and I'm like, I don't want to rehearse. Like, it's just gonna look staged if I just do it at rehearsals and do it at every show. I want it to look raw and like I know what I'm doing. So
trust me, the fans have no fucking clue if it's planned. Like, we've all seen like so many bands like over the years, and then you see them do the same stage routine, and it's like, oh shit, that was planned. It looked so authentic.
Yeah, I don't want to be that person.
So another question, doing the kind of music you do, kind of like the synth rock, industrial kind of thing, what's the music scene, like for that brand of music? Because that's not something, that me as a rock metal guy or Kevin as a country metal guy, see at a lot of the shows we're playing. What's the scene? Where are the places, where are the places you guys play? Because it's like, and what kind of artists are you playing with? Because it's like I said, it's not something I see around a lot.
Right. Yeah, this is Ken. I would say that the scene's huge. It's maybe not as big as the straightforward metal scene, but you could probably attest that there's enough female-fronted metal bands in the world already, so we don't need any more of those.
Right.
So, but coming from like influence like Nine Inch Nails. I mean, if you're gonna talk about bands that that bands we even played with, Stabbing Westward, Power Man 5000,
playing with Combi
Christ.
Okay. So you guys fit on bills like that. I wouldn't have necessarily anticipated you guys fitting on a bill with Combi Christ. Just saying.
Yeah.
It's not a slight against your music by any means, but
no.
I've booked tours all over the country, normally in the hard rock metal realm. If a band hit me up like you guys, I would literally be sitting there going, man, I don't know how I'd go about booking this band, just because it's not like earth-shattering unique, but it's just new enough to me. And I mean, you don't come across a lot of artists that have that style per se, which is actually a good thing from a booking standpoint, because it's like you can't really compare them to a lot of people.
We've made a lot of, like I said, we played with Power Man 5000. We played with Stabbing Westward. Some of the bands that are like have a electronic sense to them, or maybe a slight industrial sense to them.
Right.
And I can remember when we opened up for, I think it was Power Man 5000 at the Machine Shop a couple of years back. It was the first time we've ever played with them. They were in their dressing room. You probably could give a shit less what opening band was playing for them, right?
Right.
And yeah, because they're on tour and they're whatever. Some local band's gonna open up, whatever. So they about 30 seconds into our first song, they come running out of their dressing room. And Spider and the rest of the guys are standing on the side of the stage, and they watch the whole show. And then afterwards, they're like, "We are so used to being like thrown in with like some whatever metal band that's around." And he goes, "You guys, like within the first 30 seconds, we're like, what the heck is this? This is awesome. This is totally different." Like, and they were like, "Wow, we like it," even though their style is maybe slightly harder than ours. But they really dug it, and to the point where then we go out and play LA, and Spider shows up to our shows out there.
No
Wow.
shit. That's not bad company to keep.
Yeah. So there's that kind of stuff, but there's a huge industrial scene. There's a huge electronic scene, and we fit all in that category. Bands like Depeche Mode and bands like Gary Newman, Nine Inch Nails. These are still artists that sell out like stadiums,
right?
And headline, those that kind of stuff. Even in the industrial stuff, we tend to take Josie's songs that she writes acoustically and turn them into this kind of electronic, I guess industrial pop music. Almost it is, because it's not, but it still has an element of a good song behind it. So
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Nine Inch Nails, and I think earlier Nine Inch Nails definitely encapsulates it quite well. I was actually going to throw out Orgy, too. I used to be a huge fucking fan of them. But
I used to be a fan of orgies, too, but I'm an old man now, so.
Get your mind out of the gutter, Ricky. But no, it's super cool that, like, you guys got on shows with bands of that nature, like Power Man 5000. And then, you know, it's actually really cool that you're so left field comparative to like the normal opening bands that caught their attention, which is great for you guys. I mean, that's a great problem to have, that you're on that edge of like, most people probably aren't going to hear this. And, you know, all you got to do is just get them with that 30 fucking seconds, then boom, you got lifelong fans. So that's awesome.
Well, yeah, you know, we were at a party last night. This actual topic of discussion came up, and it seems like things are a little more polarized nowadays than they used to be when it comes to music listening. And because me and Josie, like, our favorite bands are not any of the ones that we've even mentioned tonight.
No, I love the Eagles.
Yeah, and we if there's any band that we listen to more in the studio, it's Genesis and Phil Collins.
No shit.
While we're recording, we're like, you know, what did Phil Collins do in this part, or what was this thing, or how did the Eagles chord structure did this song, or whatever. Those are the things that they're pulling from. We're just smashing them in with electronics and industrial sounds to make it something totally different. And that's I don't think that happens that much today. We'd like to bring that back. Like, I love the Eagles, and I love, you know, that kind of stuff. I love the Beatles. I love all that stuff. I also really like Nine Inch Nails and Iron Maiden, you know, and Black Sabbath at the same time, you know. Yeah, and I think that music gets departmentalized a lot nowadays. There's you like metal, or you like rap, or you like this. You can't like both, or you can't say, well, you know what, I really like country too, and I really like this, you know.
Well, yeah, and that's an incredibly valid point that you make. And it's also really tough because, like, as musicians, right, sometimes it's hard for us individually to take things that we're passionate about and throw it into the music that we play, because it might not mesh, right? Me, a metal drummer doing country, like throwing in blast beats is probably not the smartest thing to do. But the fact that you guys are taking something that like Phil Collins is doing and just kind of reworking it in an electronic way is super cool. And I mean, let's look at music from the overall standpoint of the whole encapsulation of time of music. There's really not anyone doing original shit anymore. They're taking something that's probably already been done or close to and tweaking it to fit. But you guys are just doing it on such a...
The Beatles already did it all before, so we're all just peons compared to them. So,
right.
You know, they started it, they did it, they invented it. You know, when it comes to that kind of stuff, you know, there wouldn't be any live shows like there are today if it wasn't for bands like that. Or, you know, they literally had to invent, you know, PA speakers, because before the Beatles there was no PA speakers because bands never had to play to stadiums, you know. So there's that kind of stuff. So all that stuff is throughout music history. Me and Josie are really into that stuff, pulling from all those different aspects. And yeah, sure, taking a country beat and then going, all right, put that over this with an electronic thing, or take this beat from this thing, or take a chord progression or a sound that would be normally not you would expect in an electronic song or an industrial electronic song.
Right. And I mean, look at some of like the greater like rap and hip hop songs where they took shit from like the 50s, 60s, even the 40s, and they just turned it into a beat, you know, and it turns into like Mo Money, More Problems, or, you know, just like one of those huge fucking songs that like everybody knows now. And they're like, oh yeah, that one part was from, you know, some old school fucking shit from way back in the day. You guys are just doing that in a different genre, which I think is super cool.
Yeah. It can be daunting, you know, finding places to play, or finding other bands that sound like us, even the other electronic bands are more of that synth poppy stuff, gothy synth poppy stuff, and we're a little edgier, harder than that. But we still have some of that element into it. You know, me and Josie both like The Cure, and we both like Joy Division and all that stuff that, you know, that's the goth scene kind of stuff also. So, but it's good. We fit in with all those bands. We can go and play with the synth pop bands, we can go play with the metal bands, or we can go play with whatever in between. So.
Versatility. That's not a bad problem to have. I'm curious, how does your guys' songwriting process work? Like, are you just tapping your foot and then you're like, oh man, the Eagles, like I should try like I'm genuinely curious, like how do you guys just start writing?
I usually write the song first. I write it on acoustic guitar, and then once I have finished writing whatever it is, I will send it to Ken, and he'll listen to it, and then we'll go in the studio and we go chord by chord, just laying down a little bit of a map of what we're doing, and then we start throwing weird shit in there, like just to make it awesome.
Yeah, she usually either she sends me something on the phone and she'll send me a song, and then I'll hear something in my head, like what it should sound like electronically. Or more recently, we just get together in the studio and she'll just play it for me live in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go, okay, cool. And play it again, and then she'll play it again and I'll be like, here's what I'm hearing,
Right.
And we even do some, I don't know if a lot of bands do this. We do some discovery. We go through and I'm like, I'm kind of hearing, this beat, the beat like for like I Love Rock and Roll, but kind of differently,
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll like pull it up on YouTube and we're like, okay, that, listen to that and go, kind of hearing that, but over this, and doing that, and then we just kind of piece it together. Josie spends many hours looking at the back of my head, facing the computer, and the best ones are just like any other song. They 2 hours later, you're like, wow, okay, it's done, and that's it. But they all start with Josie, with the acoustic guitar, which I think alone, yeah. So, which I think is a different way about going things when it comes to electronic music nowadays. Most electronic bands, that at least we know, they write electronic song, they write this kind of beat, and they write an electronic thing, and they bang it out on their computer, and then they sit down and try to write lyrics to that.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't then strip it back. Any of the songs that are all, in your face, giant electronic things, Josie could grab an acoustic guitar at any time and just play you that song.
No shit. That's actually super fucking cool.
And that was what I was about to ask. Is there ever a time where, like, Ken, you're like, dude, I got this awesome, arrangement, that I came up with. Can you put lyrics to it, kind of thing? But it seems like it doesn't. Does it work like that at all? Like, has there ever been that time where you're like, dude, I got this cool thing. Can you, maybe write a guitar part to it so you can strip it down and write something, like that? Has that ever happened?
Not really. We tried that at first.
Yeah,
that was the first thing we tried. I'm like, I have a whole mess of these electronic songs. Let's see if you can write some lyrics to them. And
they were terrible.
Yeah, we didn't like it. We were like, this doesn't sound authentic. This doesn't sound like anything different.
No.
And then I was like, all right, well, what are the songs that you have? And then it was just a longer and harder process. But it was also a growth process, too, because having someone write something on acoustic guitar and then me turning it around into this grindy, distorted Moog synthesizer over these industrial beats, having to follow her chord progressions and the chords that she's using and that stuff, and the structure of her song in that element made me grow as a songwriter, I think, even. Because I'm like, okay, that's not how I would have wrote this if this was an electronic song.
Mm-hmm. Teachers become pupil.
Yeah. So I would have done it a different way if I was just left up to my own devices to write an electronic song. Mm-hmm. There were hurdles that I had to go, okay, normally this is not how an electronic song would go. No one would ever bother to put this chord progression in, or when you play something, to write something on an acoustic guitar, as I know Josie does this all the time, she doesn't pay attention that she's got the bridge is in 6/4 and the chorus is in 4/4 and there's a 5/4 break after the thing, because that's just when you're writing it, that's just the way you feel.
Right.
Yeah, and then if you listen to most electronic music, it's pretty much straight 4 and 4 on the floor kind of thing, electronic music. But we have to implement that because that's how she wrote the song. So, you'll have a 5/4 break, the chorus is an 8/4, and
well, that's too many numbers.
Back,
that's a lot of numbers.
I love the fact, though, that you originally start, though, with her on acoustic, because if you had to do like a radio interview and they're like, oh yeah, perform your song, like you could still do it and get the point across. For me, not only from the business side of it, but from a musician standpoint, you're not handcuffed to, okay, we need to have this fucking MacBook and we need to have this and we need to have that. Like, you could do the song. I don't know if you could do it the same justice, but the fact that it was derived from you just on an acoustic, I think that's super cool. And to transform that into what it turned out to is fucking awesome. That's super sweet.
Thank you.
And a question I had real quick, when you guys play live, is it just you two on the stage, or do you have a
hype man,
a Flavor Flav, or do you have a drummer? Do you have a guitar player? Do you have those?
Flavor Flav, we have a hype man on stage.
Okay, so you got a guy jumping around, a big clock jumping around. Do you guys have like a full band backing you up, or is it just you two on stage?
It's me, Ken playing the synths, and then we have a live drummer on stage with us as well.
Does your drummer use an electric kit or a normal kit?
It's an acoustic kit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kit.
We want to have that aspect of it. We want the punk rock kind of sound to it. So you get this blast of synthesizer sound, and then you get a regular rock drummer, sound on top of it.
Yeah.
There are electronic sounds that go along, and there are some, there's some triggered sounds, and some samples are triggered and stuff like that. But in generally, no, you get more of a raw a sound to it live by doing that. So.
Was it difficult for you guys to find a drummer to do that kind of music? Because it's not necessarily, I don't want to sound like demeaning, but it's just not like, when you go on a drummer hunt, there's guys that want to do rock, metal. Like, this is kind of an outlier genre, so to speak. Was it difficult to find a drummer that was into it?
I don't know about an outlier genre. I mean, Depeche Mode just got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay, I must have misspoke there. I didn't mean it that way.
Raz just got owned.
And they sell millions and millions and millions and millions of records, and so does Nine Inch Nails.
Way to go,
and
Kev.
They just got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So, the genre is very huge. I'm lucky, and we're very lucky that I've had a friend that I've been playing with. His name's Mark Damien. He's our drummer for over 20 years. That me and him have been friends, and
he's an amazing drummer.
He's an amazing drummer, and grew up listening to the same kind of stuff as we did. Grew up like the biggest Rush fan, like every other drummer is, right? And learning all the Neil Peart stuff and doing all that stuff, practicing all that stuff, his Dream Theater, all those things. But also grew up listening to Duran Duran and listening to Sting and listening to The Cure and listening to Nine Inch Nails and all that stuff. So, he was the only guy I asked anyway. So he was the guy that could do it, and so he's been our drummer ever since. So.
Yeah, I didn't mean it like niche, like nobody listens to it, but like legit, when you go and look for any musician, like you kind of have to be like rock, metal, like jazz, whatever. Like not many postings do I see say, oh, like we're a synth pop, etc.
Punk metal band.
Yeah, like when you drill down to it, that's when I was like, okay, it might be a little more difficult.
Yeah, West in Michigan, yes, that is definitely a thing. Everybody's ads, we see them on Facebook, looking for a band to start like this and that sounds like this, and it's all the same metal band that everybody's starting. But on the coast and in Europe, it's totally a different thing. So Los Angeles is, we actually play more out there than we do around here. Mm-hmm. There's a huge scene for this kind of music out there. There's a huge scene for it in the UK. Actually, Mexico City is strangely enough the biggest goth industrial scene, and one of them in the world. It's hard to find other musicians that are like
close,
that want to start that stuff, and that this just I think brings us back to the whole how things are more compartmentalized nowadays than
Right.
they used to be. They weren't like that. They weren't like that before Facebook or the internet, or say if this was the year in the turn of the century into 2000.
Right.
You know, I would go out to go see, you know, like I said, go see Korn play, and the next night I would go see the Replacements of the Pixies play, or I would go see this a different band play of a totally different genre, and I would see the same people and the same crowds at every one of those shows. That's what Lollapalooza was back when it started. Think about it. You know, you had Jane's Addiction with, with Nine Inch Nails playing, with Ice Cube on the ticket, with another, and everybody liked all that music.
Right.
I would like it to get back to that. I'd like to be able to go, hey, yeah, I just I just picked up this new country record and it's great. It's absolutely awesome. And I got this new metal record too. And I'm going to their show on Tuesday, and I'm going to this other band show on this other thing, and it's two different genres.
Right.
It's not so scene oriented, you know.
No, and I agree 100%. I love mixed genre shows. When I was in Harlow, we were able to do multiple sets of, okay, if we were on a metal show, we can amp it up with these songs. If we were doing like a more chilled out set, we could do a more rock oriented set. And it was really cool to be able to play with bands on both realms, because some of the metal shows, it was like death metal, and we were the lightest band. And then there was other shows where it was a rock show and we were significantly the heaviest band. And the one thing that I noticed was a lot of the fans really, really dug it because it was something different. And one of the problems I have with the Machine Shop, and it's not them, but like some of the metal shows, it's like 3-4 hours of the same, this band's trying to sound like the headliner kind of thing. And I can only take so much of that as a metal guy. But like, you know, I could go to Blue Ridge, Motionless in White, you know, Wage War, fucking Lamb of God. I could sit there and listen to that shit all day, every day, because those are just bands I love. But when I'm
Look at Kevin go today.
when I'm
Look at this
discovering
Chatty Cathy today.
No, when I'm discovering new bands though, it's nice to have kind of like that. I don't want to say it's like a break, but they're just not trying to sound like the band before them or the headliner. It's something unique. And what you guys are doing is crazy unique. Like I said, it's just not something I would normally come across. And I think it's really, really well done. And after everything else you've talked about, like you transpose it from writing it on acoustic. I think that's absolutely amazing. So kudos to you guys. But no, that's a great problem to have, you know, be able to be versatile and fit on any kind of bill. Because if you're touring and you have a Monday or a Tuesday show drop, oh, well, you know, we have this band playing. It's like, well, if you're a deathcore band and they're like, well, yeah, we have poetry jazz on Monday, you guys are going to be like, hey, we actually could probably fit because we could do it acoustically or, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, we do get we do try to keep it. Recently, we do get lumped in with a lot of metal bands because it's harder electronic music, and so you know. But we try to pull back a little bit from it and make sure that you know, people understand the influences. I mean, you know, there's probably a lot of artists that we listen to that maybe a younger generation of people are not hip to or didn't grow up listening to Cabaret Voltaire, or didn't grow up listening to Front 242 or, you know, Ministry of the Revolting Cocks or anything like that, which is like, you know, Godfather stuff of like industrial music.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's every musician's job, is to not only, you know, get your music across and, you know, but also, you know, teach the audience or help, you know, inspire younger generations or other
expose them to something different than the norm.
Different. I've seen it before. I was at an ICP like in-store signing once way back in the day.
Juggalo.
In college. Juggalo. And I love those guys. We love Joe and all that stuff. And I remember like they were a perfect example. This kid was buying Riddlebox, and you know, Violent J was like, hey man, do you own Off the Wall by Michael Jackson? And this kid's like 14. He's like, no, you know, and he's like,
who the fuck is that?
Until you get Off the Wall, because if it wasn't for Off the Wall, there would be no ICP. And this kid went and grabbed it off the wall cassette and bought both of them, you know. And I was like, I always thought that was really cool. It was like he was trying to, like, you know, teach his audience to go, hey, you know, this is what we were listening to when we were growing up that influenced us, and maybe it'll influence you also, you know.
I have a huge appreciation for that because I was not always a metal drummer. I was into jazz, I was into reggae, I was into swing, I was into a whole bunch of different shit. And it was just because when I was growing up, you know, trends were trends. What I heard on the radio was what I heard on the radio. And it's really nice and comforting to hear that still goes with musicians because, like, shit, Rikki and I will see bands where it's like they're this genre and then it's just blast beats for fucking days. And I give those dudes credit, like, it's awesome, but there's just that uniqueness of trying to blend, like, there's parts of Shudder, Casting Shadowz, Harlow, like every band I've been in where I'm like, oh, this is a beat Dave Matthews Band drummer fucking does like relentlessly and it fits this part perfectly. Oh, like this is something that is more a jazz beat. And to be able to incorporate that into other genres of music, I think is the funnest part of writing. But when you get sucked into, okay, we're this genre, we need to put out a banger, you know, and I'm not saying that's every band, but once you start getting established, it's like, okay, we need to start writing, we need to start doing this, and then it becomes a little more difficult to fucking, you know, come up with that creativity when you're a new young band and you're just like grinding your teeth and like, hey, we want to write some shit, you know what I mean? So it's super cool to hear that because that's kind of how I am as a musician too.
Yeah, that's definitely how we took the approach to it, and we took the approach, and you would think we took the approach with no guitars at the time when Josie and I met, was because of there were so many
girls with acoustic guitars. Just like there's so many girl-fronted metal bands. Like if I was to start a metal band right now, like the last thing I would do would be like a girl-fronted metal band. No offense to all of them. We're friends with a lot of them, but like if you're gonna start a brand new band, I always imagine, like, what does a record company executive want to see come across his email? You know, he's going to be like, oh, cool, Harrison. You know, and at the time when I met her, Taylor Swift was so high, that, like, I went, you know, I'm sure a record company executive is going, the last thing I want to see is another video with a girl playing acoustic guitar.
Right.
And, you know, I get 50 million of those every day because Taylor Swift is so big, right?
Right.
And so we literally just went, boom, no guitars, you know, and
like a running
less
joke.
gear.
It's become a running joke, you know, when we play live, and then when we release music, there's no guitars in it. But we win the fans over anyway, even at those more metal shows, because
the synth it's like a guitar riff.
Like the synth riffs are inspired by guitar riffs, so they're just reproduced with the distorted Moog synthesizer. And I can blow you any guitar player off the planet with my distorted Moog over their guitar. It's way louder, it's way bigger, the frequencies are bigger. So when we hit the stage and that starts just blasting you in the face with this big distorted synthesizer sound, you're just like, holy cow,
like
what the heck? Yeah.
Of like a rave and the best rock concert you've ever been to put together.
Yeah.
So out of curiosity, when you guys go and play shows, do you have any sort of like limitations where like if the PA doesn't have certain things that you guys are kind of like fucked, or can you basically just go and play anywhere? Like even like the shithole dive bar that has like a board that's the size of like a donut.
No, unfortunately.
A gondola in Roseville, maybe.
Right.
Professional size PA system. Giant subwoofers, all that kind of stuff. It has to have that feel for the electronics, because we can't just go play a pub where they got two 12-inch speakers that they run the vocalist through, and everybody brings their own amp. That's not our and that's fine with us, because like that immediately we didn't want to do those anyway. So we were like, oh, cool. Like, and some of the first shows we played were opening up for Stabbing Westward and Power Man 5000 and doing more bigger shows, because we're like, well, we have to do the bigger shows.
Right.
That's just how it be. So
hey, I can't fault you there. I just figured I would ask because, going out on tour, the hardest days to fill are normally those days where it's like, oh, well, could you do an acoustic set or could you do this? And like, even the bands I was in, it was like, okay, we could bust out an acoustic set. Obviously, you guys could too, because you wrote the songs originally. But, there's always that part where you want to give the fans the beans, right? And if you can't do that, it's kind of a downer.
Right. No point. Yeah, usually the places we play around here, we don't have a problem with it. We've played the Machine Shop a bunch of times. We played Small, St. Andrews. All those are big. Yeah, those are all big PA systems. And in LA, they're even bigger. Yeah. So in New York, they're bigger. And stuff like that. So usually, it hasn't been an issue as of yet. Sound guys don't like us at first, but they like us after they hear it.
No sound guy has ever given me a compliment before I played, and then as soon as I get done playing, holy shit, dude, that's fucking awesome. So, no, that's a good problem to have. You never want them oogling over you before the show.
Imagine, you're on the bill and you're the only band with no guitars. They're
like, check the first guitar. Oh wait, you don't have it. Like,
yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, and then after the set, they're just like, "Holy crap! You were louder than the other bands,
Can I go, Kev?
Yeah, no, it's all you, Rikki.
Can I ask a question now? I kicked my feet up there for a little bit because this was the Kevin Razlog show for the last 25 minutes.
We've had a few weeks off, bitch.
Yeah, we did have, and Josie, she's been answering the questions in the chat because I couldn't get a word in.
I've been
talk about the recording process with you guys, because Rob Surgott, he threw that out there that, it seems like it would be maybe more time consuming to record the kind of music you guys do, or, explain when you guys go into the studio, you said Plymouth Rock recording company, explain the recording process. Is it just, you guys know the songs in and out and you just got to plug one synthesizer into the board and knock it out, knock vocals, and you're done? Explain the recording process.
You really want me to? You want to lose all your listeners right now if you want me to explain how this works?
Yes, kill my listener base. Do it.
Everyone's gonna hang up now when I get technical and explain to them actually how this works.
It's a long process. I mean, even just like mapping the song as like a scratch song is a long process.
Yeah, Josie comes in, she plays the acoustic guitar, she plays me the song. I turn around in a room full of synthesizers. We probably have about 60 synthesizers in that room. I own over 200 vintage synths. And we start working and piecing the song together. Once it's done electronically in that writing room with all my synthesizers, we take it at Plymouth Rock over into the main control room. And every channel gets separated out, every synth sound, every sound. Then we usually bring in Mark Damian. Our drummer lives in Los Angeles, though, so we fly him in, and most of the time, or he does the sessions out there. He'll lay down the drum tracks to all the electronic stuff that I've already done, and then we mix. And a standard song for us, we're looking at 90 to over 100 tracks of music by the time you're done, and then you start in your final mix and doing that stuff. So everything's separated out.
I was going to say 90 to 100 hours, and I was like, yeah, that's
no, but sometimes it takes. We write really quick when she comes to me with the song. We'll sketch something out really quick, and I have her there with me to kind of give me some ideas of what she's hearing in her head for the song. And then it could be anywhere from weeks to months of me, messing with synthesizer sounds and trying to get it to, what I like a lot. And then Josie comes back in and she's like, nah, I don't like that. Like, what if we went in this direction? And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Let's try this. And then we kind of redo it. But, yeah, once I get done, it's mixed like any other band. It's recorded as, multi-tracks of instruments, and then all different synthesizer sounds. Never like, were we all in the same room and playing at the same time kind of recording.
No.
Yeah, like say like the Stones or the Beatles did back in the day or whatever like that. It's more pre-production work, a lot of months of pre-production work. So
God, that sounds like a pain in the ass. Such a pain in the ass.
You got to be very. It's super technical. It's pretty crazy. And then we work at a studio, our studio, and everything gets piped through a 32-channel Neve console, and then there's all these technical things and to make it sound the way that we want to sound it. And but our heroes do the same thing. Trent Reznor does the same thing. There's I always I think Joseph talked about it. There's two bands in the world I think is I've always thought that were influential when it came to how you had to be a musician. And the Beatles were the first one. Before the Beatles, you didn't write your own music.
Right.
You were a pop star. Elvis didn't write the songs, whatever, they before the Beatles, someone else wrote the song and you sung it. Then the Beatles came along and then they wrote their own songs and they performed their own songs. So every band that started after that went, okay, I got to write my own songs. The Beatles are writing their own songs. And so that happened. Everybody started writing their own music and doing that. And then it was in the late 80s, the early 90s, and I credit Trent Reznor, at least for me, was one of the first guys to go, not only do I write my own music, I also record, engineer, produce, and mix and master even and my own music. He was doing it before everyone else, and so then that just happened to come around the same time as the home studio stuff started becoming more prevalent in the 90s, where you could get a computer and write your own songs in your bedroom, which led us up to artists like Billie Eilish, who records everything in her house and releases it and wins 6 Grammys. So,
there you have it.
Jeez. That's, I'm just thinking about whenever I go into the studio and record a bass line, I'm like, all right, here's the chorus, just cut and paste, and it's good enough for me. And
Ricky's really an easy date.
I can record a 1-hour album in 20 minutes. It's just, okay, good enough. Just plop it on there and do whatever you do.
After the bass player leaves, me and the other sound engineer replay your bass part and not tell you because you played it later on.
Ricky don't care because he's like, I walked in there and I fucking nailed it. The other guys are back there like, oh, I gotta tweak this, I gotta tweak that.
Don't matter to me. I get credit for it. Have whoever the hell you want record it. I get credit.
I've seen that happen before, where the mixing, the bass player leaves and the rest of the band's there, and the mix engineer's like, I play bass, and he's like, well, just recut that one part.
See, that's always my biggest fear is I'm gonna leave the studio and they're gonna have some other drummer come in and be like, okay, let's fill all of his shit in.
Yeah. That's how Ringo Starr used to think, because there was a famous quote where John Lennon was asked during a press conference, in their heyday, right when they started, is Ringo the best drummer in the world? And John's answer was, Ringo's not even the best drummer in the Beatles. So there's always that factor, so.
And then you also threw out, while Kevin was peeing, and as he's about to dip in 4 minutes, that your drummer's all the way out in Cali, the sunny California. How does that work? When you guys are, Josie posted in the chat that you guys are playing with Combat Christ at the Token on Devil's Night. So is that a thing where you'd be like, all right, man, we're going to pay your airplane ticket, get out here and play the show?
Yeah. We'll fly and we'll pay for a ticket, and we'll have them come in about a week before the show, and we'll do a few rehearsals before then, and then play the show.
I need to get on that level.
Jesus.
Fly me out for a week, feed me, bathe me, house me, and then we'll do the show.
And then
I like this.
Then pay for me to go home.
He does crash at my condo when he's in town, but he stays here, and it worked out really well. Mark's a jack of all trades. He does everything from forensic audio to field audio work to post audio work for television and movies.
No shit.
And so he does a couple of television shows that are based out of Detroit, so he has work that he can always do here. And on top of it, he also plays drums for a lot of other bands. Most notably, he plays drums for Leif Elsadi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with Leif.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was on The Voice and all that stuff. So a lot of times,
Huge stoner.
It should work out where like he flies in and it makes it more economically good for everyone because he's got a show with us or 2 shows with us or 2 shows with Lace, in the next week. And so, so it kind of works out pretty good.
It's called bundling. Hey, I'm already going to be out there. Let's do this and this and this.
So a question that I'm surprised Kevin didn't ask during his half-hour diatribe of questions, and he usually asks this, touring and all this, you guys have already gone out to California, done stuff out there. Is that a step you guys are looking to take in the near future? I mean, granted, COVID's kind of jacking shit up right now, but is that a step you guys are gonna be taking the next year or so?
Yeah, we're planning our first album release next February, and we're planning, hopefully, to tour after that and tour for the album.
If COVID lets us, yes, we will tour to support the record. That Josie signed a deal with Negative Gain Records, and our album will be released in February. Singles are starting to drop next month, October 1st. A new single will hit in video, and then there'll be a few singles. One in November, one in December, I think one in January, also dropping with music videos also prior to that. And then hopefully tour. We just got off the phone with a publicist over in Europe that we're working with now too. And so we would like to go over to Europe and UK because I think the style of music that goes over well there. They're a little more open when it comes to that stuff. They're not so compartmentalized when it comes to music genres and liking in the scenes. Well,
if you look at some of their huge festivals, they have everything from Jimmy Ute's World to fucking Slipknot. Like they will throw everything under the sun and the kitchen sink and have like 500,000 people there. It's absolutely bonkers.
Yeah. And the fans over there are a little more open to that stuff. So they're like cool, like Slipknot's on and Seals right after, and they stayed away from both of them. Right? It's like cool, It's like.
Kiss from a Rose and Slipknot? Fuck yeah, sign me up.
So it's but they've always been known for that. Look at all the American artists that went over to the UK to make it big, like Jimi Hendrix, UK before even anybody knew who he was here. It's always been a little more open.
For sure.
So I need to throw this out there. Les Zaldor has popped into the chat. He's been in there, a radio guy. I worked with him for many, many years. So I just wanted to shout out Les Zaldor.
What's up, Les?
He was saying, saw Comic Christ a few years ago at the Majestic. Great show. Going to be even better with Josie Pace opening, just like when I saw you guys opening for Stabbing Westward. So super cool. Seems like Les Zaldor is a huge fan. October 1st single is Sammy Doll. What's that about?
That is our first single release. We did a cover of Pure Morning by Placebo, and we asked my good friend Sammy Doll, who plays for IMX and Kat Von D, she sang on it with me. So that's going to be dropping on October 1st with the music video.
Hell yeah. Wow, well, make sure you send that stuff over to us, and we'll promote it on our page.
For sure.
Sweet.
All right. Yeah. So before we let you guys go, because I know Kevin's itching to get to work in the morning, do you guys have anything you guys want to throw out there? Upcoming shows, anything people should look forward to in the next little bit from you guys?
Just music videos every month until February and March. So
yeah, there'll be releases every month. First one is October 1st.
Content.
Like I said. Yeah, with
content.
Yeah, during the one good thing about the pandemic was we actually for this album that we're releasing in February, we filmed 7 music videos for it.
Ooh, I'm jealous.
Jeez,
I'd love to do that.
So, and they're all really really cool and really really different, and we'll send them to you guys when they get released. So pretty much almost every song on the album has a video that will accompany it. So starting October 1st, we have the new one, and then there's one going to be dropping in November and December, and then January, and then more on from that. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Jeez,
I'm looking forward to it.
Right.
Dude, I've been trying to do this for years. It just takes collective people to do it.
And it makes it easier if there's only 2 of them.
Well, In Ghost got rid of.
You don't have 3 other dickwads to deal with.
In Ghost got rid of their bass player and then one of their guitar players and replaced it with like electronic synths and backtracks and all that shit. And when they came back to Detroit, I was like, damn, your guys' show didn't lose anything. He's like, yeah, and it was less people to have to deal with. I was like, more power to you.
Yeah. We have a community of friends and of people that help us with stuff when it comes to music videos, recording, all that stuff, that we wouldn't be where we are right now. We wouldn't have got our record deal. We wouldn't have done any of that stuff if it wasn't for them. Managers that we've worked with and people. We have a lot of really, really talented friends. If you watch,
that always helps.
If you go to our YouTube page and watch our music videos, you would probably think that we spend like $20,000-$30,000 in each one of these music videos. It just so happens that we have a lot of really, 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 really talented friends that do this stuff for a living, and help us out.
They give us a good rate.
Hey, it's not always what you know, it's who you know. And like the same goes for us too. I mean, some of the opportunities that we've had would have never came to fruition if we didn't know the right people. So if you grind hard enough and work hard enough, you end up meeting those people generally. So
absolutely.
All right, so we're going to let you guys go.
.com and you get all that stuff. So that's it.
There it is. Easy as that. All right, Josie, Ken, thank you guys so much for taking some time talking with us.
We got to do this again for sure.
Yes, when we have more time and we're not running from a show to get here on time to start the show.
Yeah, we could make the show 3 hours.
Yeah, so we'll do this. We'll do this again for sure. You guys take care. Make sure you check out Josie Pace if you're in the Metro Detroit area. Token Lounge, October 30th, opening up for Comic Christ.
Is that the tour with Heartsick?
Is Heartsick on that tour? I believe so.
Well, they were going on tour with Combi Christ and it got diverted.
No, we'll put Davey Suicide's on the gig with us.
Okay. All right.
I was going to say, damn, that would have made it even better to go see Heartsick too, because they're friends of ours.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So we will let you guys go and stay in touch, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Take it easy, guys.
All right, there it is. We'll wrap this thing up really quick because Kevin has to go to work in the morning. Shout out to Les Zaldor against Zaldor's World. Check out the Zaldor's World podcast anywhere podcasts can be found. Former alumni of tapdetroit.com, and that's still a thing, I guess. Oh. And so check out Zaldor's World. Phenomenal guy. Got me helped me out when Olin Ezra dropped the ball in teaching me how to do radio. So here I am. Still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So, Kev, some takeaways from the interview so we can get you out of here.
Dude.
And take these beers with you. I actually didn't even drink half of them.
They, like, kind of blew my mind a little bit, like, on how in-depth and at the same time how simple they're going about it. Because, like, when you hear the music, you're thinking, okay, like, how do you go into a studio and just record that kind of music? And the fact that they just start out with her on the acoustic guitar is like really, really cool. I always wondered how that kind of music like came together. But dude, it just sounds like they're on a mission and they have two people firing on all cylinders, which is what I would like to do with any band I'm in, except have every member firing on all cylinders. So
come on, Jeff Land, step it up.
Poor Jeff. No, I appreciate the dedication and the uniqueness of the music. I think it's really, really fucking well done. And it also doesn't hurt to have connections in the right places, so good for them.
Very cool. All right, so we're going to get out of here. Kevin's got to go to work. I'm going to not work because General Motors likes to have their batteries set on fire. $1.8 billion recall.
Making it rain on this motherfucker.
Rikki ROXX ain't going to work. So
DoorDash, baby.
So if you guys want to help support me through this hard time, hop on over to ROXX100.com, hit that donate tab, and send me some money. We also have Patreon, patreon.com/ROXX100. You can be
He also accepts all cryptocurrency.
That too. And patreon.com/ROXX100. It's still a thing. We have some awesome stuff out there. Limited edition t-shirts, posters, mugs, and I think there's a sticker thing in there too. It's a thing. I haven't checked in a while. So head on over and check it out and support ROXX100. That money doesn't go in my wallet as much as I wish it did. It all goes to support ROXX100 because this is a two-man team here at ROXX100. It's myself and Kevin Razlog.
Oh, thank you.
And I need money to make it worth my while to deal with Kevin Razlog.
Oh, I'm not that bad. I make you claustrophobic even here?
More than, well, now it's more than once a week. So I'm dealing with you like half a week. So it's a thing.
It's a relationship.
I see you more than I see my wife. So next week on the show, we're going to be talking to Chad Valier from the band Valier out of Toronto, Ontario. And
I wonder if Steve Ingle hooked that one up.
No, he didn't hook that up. They were one of our.
I'm sure he probably knows of them.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna get out of here. This is gonna be the shortest, most abrupt end because I'm not gonna play a song because now I kind of want to go to bed since I've been up since 6 a.m. Because of that.
Yeah.
Because of fucking babies.
I know.
It's fucking horrible. So gonna get out of here.
Snip, snip.
I've heard Kevin is hard to deal with from Les Eldor.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
how am I hard to deal with?
Wow. Yeah, I've heard Kevin is hard to deal with.
Jesus.
Ooh.
Did I run into you like super hammered? Because if I did, I'm sorry. I'm really not that bad. I brought beer of the week. I mean, come on.
I do owe that.
I brought beer of the week quite a few times.
Well, I brought it a lot more.
Well, yeah, because
this is how much of the beer of the week I drank. That's how awful this shit was. I'm gonna throw it right down.
Oh, he laughed. He must not have been serious. I'm really not that bad. I'm not a singer, bro.
We'll see. All right, so we're gonna get out of here and make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit your notifications,
mash
and all
that motherfucker,
and make sure you spread the word. We need to get these subscriber numbers up because to make it feel like I'm actually doing my job here,
we need numbers.
Entertaining you guys. I like big numbers, and it's a thing. Fulfill my ego.
Rikki Rocks, the rock god.
Rock
we
icon.
can't have single digits.
I'm a rock icon.
Those are rookie numbers.
I'm a rookie icon. All right, getting out of here. Talk to you guys next week right here, or for episode number 117 of the Rikki ROXX Show next week, a Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. on the dot. Like I said, Chad Valier from Valier, Toronto, Ontario. So, Kev, have a good week at work. Maybe I'll see you at practice. I don't know what practice. If
we'll figure it out.
We'll do that. All right. Talk to you guys later.
Peace.
Rikki rocks, Rikki rocks. It's Rikki ROXX coming out of the box. Bitches come in flocks.
Fuck that up.
We need to be contained with padded rocks. It's the Rikki ROXX Show spreading like the pox. Rikki rocks, Rikki rocks. Rikki rocks, Rikki rocks, yeah. Rikki rocks, Rikki rocks. Rikki rocks, Rikki rocks, yeah.
Rikki rocks up in your grill, motherfucker.
Hey, this is Rikki ROXX, and you are listening to ROXX 100.com.